The portals of enlightenment have opened, and your journey of mind, body, and spirit has begun. Welcome to Portals to Enlightenment. And now your host, psychic medium and traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and medical Qigong, radio show personality, as well as member of the Asian American Journalist and Media Association, Psychic Medium Cheri.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Portals to Enlightenment, your journey to body, mind, and spirit. I hope everybody had a good week. I did. I've been really busy with readings and just working out, getting ready for a stage in August. And this week I would like to go and introduce a new special guest. He's been a regular guest on my other show, Paranormal Horizons. His name is Joe Punohu, and he is Hawaiian. The subject today is we're going to talk about the Hawaiian culture. So anybody that's never been to Hawaii or has been to Hawaii but like to know a little bit more about the Hawaiian cultures, we're going to have Joe talk about that. It's in the next half an hour, 35 minutes. So Joe is from Kanoi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's from Oahu. And I'm going to bring him on and have him have at it. So, hi Joe, how are you?
Hi, how's it?
You're pretty good. How's the weather in Hawaii?
Good. Kind of hot and then kind of cold sometimes because it's wintertime, but not really that cold or that hot.
So, can you pronounce? I had a hard time.
Yeah.
Before the show, you were telling me how to pronounce it. So I'm trying to pronounce it, and I got tongue-tied. So, can you pronounce it for the listeners?
Kaneohe.
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 Think simpler. Our problem is English changes everything for us a lot. Every vowel in the Hawaiian alphabet only has one way to pronounce it. Not like the 7 different ways you can pronounce A in English, or A is ah, and A will always be ah.
Cool.
And everything is pronounced. There's no silent letters either. So it's actually much easier than English, but nobody can pronounce long words or just words in general,
So we're going to talk about your Hawaiian culture. And yes, can you tell me a little bit more where you're from? Are you born in Hawaii, in Oahu? Or can you, let us know what's going on here?
Yeah, born and raised in Kaneohe on the island of Oahu. I lived here, my whole life. We moved to the other side of the island briefly, but we ended up back in Kaneohe, and it's a fantastic place to be. It's like the little suburbs on over here, right in the middle of the two, or actually now the 3 holes in the mountain where people come from town. So they just come right over here, about 20 minutes away from all the hustle and bustle and rush hour traffic. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's close enough to everything and far enough away from everything.
Wow. So,
in other words, housing is expensive.
So are there a lot of local people around you, or the tourists, or what's the demographics there?
Not many tourists, but there are a few. Kailua is right next to Kaneohe, and in Kailua, that's where a lot of the tourists are nowadays. There's a lot of Japanese that go there. They have beautiful white sand beaches. They have all of this kind of stuff, and a lot of the tourists who turn local, the Caucasian people, we call them the Malihini, the people who became local. A lot of them live in Kailua, right next door.
Okay, so is it a short drive?
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
Okay. So, how would you say, my understanding, and I've been to Hawaii myself, I got to think about people that have never been to Hawaii, but, I think that, my interpretation of, and I feel like when I go to Hawaii, even though I'm in Oregon, when I go to Hawaii, I feel like I'm home. And to me, it's a land of smiles. It's a land of welcomeness. You have areas where, I'm sure that there's pockets where you're not maybe so welcome, but I felt like, I felt very welcomed in Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii has a thing about it that resonates with most people. In fact, I can only think of only a few people, and they're like movie stars who have gone public saying they don't like Hawaii because of this and because of that. But everybody that comes here feels like this is home to them. This is where they belong. This is where they should have been all along. That Hawaii is calling to them. And it's not just a blue sky, because nobody says that about like Bermuda, you know what I mean, or Jamaica or other places as well. Hawaii is, to me, it's unique. You can go to any other tropical place in the world, but just as you said, the people have their own culture. Everything is so mixed over here. The local culture is not the Hawaiian culture. The Hawaiian culture is native Hawaiian, but the local culture is a mixture of Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, everything, you know. So I always thought growing up that local meant Hawaiian. So I thought, oh, Hawaiian style to take your slippers off at the door before you go into the house, right? That's Japanese style. I thought, oh, Hawaiian style, eat rice with every meal, yeah? That's not Hawaiian, so I never had rice. That's Japanese style. Everything is all mixed over here. And maybe that's why everybody feels so welcome as well, is because there's no one culture, there's just many.
It's like a melting pot of different things. Well, as an example, and I'm Asian, I'm Chinese American, but I also found out that I've got Vietnamese in my blood. But just to as an example, in Chinese, we call it cha xiu bao, which is the hambao, the manapua. Or is it not the manapua, but the hambao? Is that what they call hambao in Hawaii, where they get the cha xiu, the barbecue pork?
The manapua.
Yeah, the manapua. Okay, so that's the same thing. It's in Chinese, in our Cantonese, is we call it the cha xiu bao, so which is the barbecue pork, but it's the same thing.
You can go to 7-Eleven and buy manapua, like 5 different flavors: sweet potato, teriyaki, curry, all kind.
Wow.
Chong. They serve fresh sushi at 7-Eleven. Well, I guess fresh is as fresh as cooked in that or prepared that morning, but you can get sushi rolls and everything at 7-Eleven.
And you said the word lapchung. Lapchung is lapchung is in Chinese, and we call it is a Chinese sausage. And you have that in the cha xiu bao type of style, or the manapua style. That's interesting.
And they sell it at every store as well, every grocery store. We grew up, you make rice, just throw them in the rice pot, and you're good to go.
So let me ask you, what is the language that's spoken? Is it actually Hawaiian, or is it a mixture of depending on your descendants or ancestry?
The one that's spoken more or less among the Hawaiian people, you say? Or just everybody in general?
You said anybody in general, or the Hawaiian people, both. How's that?
English, but for the most part, in the English language, the local people have what's called the Pidgin English, which was actually kind of made from the old plantation days when it's kind of like just words shortened and stuff. Instead of hi brother, you say hi brah. Hey brah, what's up? Or brother, or how's it going? A lot of it was said to be like in the old plantation days, how they would talk to each other without the luna or the boss listening in on their conversations, so they just shorten everything.
Wow.
But we could talk really pidgin and local, and people don't know what the heck we're talking about. It's they think it's a different language.
That's interesting. So my interpretation, and if you have a lot of belief systems, would you say that a lot of the people would be Roman Catholics? Are they Christians? Are they considered spiritual? Or is there a mix of people that have different belief systems or different religions or anything like that predominantly? Or
dominantly, I'd say Christian, probably Catholic.
Okay.
But you can go down in Nu'uanu. That's one of the main roads that go into town. Nu'uanu, you have the synagogue next to a few churches, next to the Hare Krishna temple, and a block away you have the Hongwanji and all of this stuff as well. So you have all of these religions that are all just about everywhere you go. You have Buddhist temples. Come summertime, you do the Obon dance and stuff, and different places hosted in different weekends all over the island. So we just have a whole lot of Japanese temples as well, and it's a big mixture. But I'd say predominantly there's more Christians and more Catholic churches than any other establishments that I can think of.
That's really cool. Wow. Anything else you want to share about the Hawaiian culture, Joe?
Oh, there's a ton. What do you want to?
Go for
I
it.
can talk about Hawaii.
Go ahead.
I like to talk about how, like, throughout history, a lot of people seem to think that the Hawaiians were savages, that the Hawaiians did not know how to do this, did not know how to do that. I've come across many readings in my researches, and I've come across like one reading or a few of them that says that when Captain Cook arrived in the 1770s, I believe, he recorded his recorded figure wasn't that accurate, and I forget how much it was. It may have been about 200,000, but it estimates that the recorded population of the native Hawaiians were above 1 million. And now, for a very primitive culture that have not discovered metal, because, well, we don't have access to metal, right? To sustain a population on an island of over 1 million people, a lot has to be said about that. The fact that they were not just making it by, Hawaiian people were actually thriving. We had a lot of food, so much food that we would give the king, we pay taxes and all of this stuff as well. Sometimes whole pigs, sometimes tons of kalo, taro poi, I've recently learned some of the old ways. I mean, it just blows my mind. We have in Hawaii something called heiau, and because I tell ghost stories and I'm into that aspect, a lot of people have asked me about certain heiaus or Hawaiian temples. They're rock temples and stuff, right? One guy years ago asked me why if I could tell him about the heiau that are underwater, and I've never heard of that. Apparently, there's this humongous rock structure when he went diving, over 100 yards deep, under the ground, hands that were placed by rocks side by side into a perfect rock mound. Well, we found out recently, my daughter takes a Hawaiian immersion class, and one of the parents over there, or the grandparents, has a master's degree going for his doctorate in this. These things were actually fishing spots that the Hawaiians would create their artificial reefs on. So they would go and they would dive all the way down, and they would take rocks after rocks after rocks, tons of rocks in their canoe, and they'd swim it down and place it sometimes about as big, literally as big as a football field. Now we're talking, some of these places have been found 1, 2, 3 miles offshore. Once you get about a little bit less than a mile, you can't even see the shore that good anymore, let alone to find the exact same place after 3 miles going out on shore. They built this little rock platform. And so what they would do is they would feed the fish over there day by day, and they would create entirely its own ecosystem. So fish would grow and fish would thrive in the middle of nowhere. So they knew whenever they had to go fishing, they just got to come over here because there's plenty of fish over here. That, to me, it shows that Hawaiian people had an astounding level of perception, intelligence, that they knew how to create these things. The ulu, the breadfruit tree, is another one. I mean, people don't know this, but the Hawaiians would plant them everywhere, in the desert, in the hot regions, because they have the characteristic of keeping the soil fertile, making the soil wet, retaining water, and in other words, transforming the entire desert into a green, lush place where now you can grow a lot of more things. So Hawaiians were far beyond primitives and savages. They didn't have anything beyond rocks to use for all of this stuff, but imagine if they had the use of metal and all the other things, where they would have gone in all this time.
That's crazy. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Is there any type of rules or protocols that you would advise or suggest to people, the visitors that have never been to Hawaii, what they need to do to respect, or any customs that they need to be aware of?
Respect, number one. I've been in the tourism industry a lot, and I'll say that one thing I see a lot is ignorance and the mentality that I'm on vacation, the world revolves around me. That's not a good mentality to bring to Hawaii. You come to a place that's not yours, you got to realize you're the guest. Hey, we will gladly share what we have to share, but don't demand it. Don't expect it. Don't expect people to bring you to grandma's luau kind of a thing, right? I've actually met people who ask me, if I could take them to my grandma's luau because grandma's luau has the best food. And I'm looking at them, I'm just driving them to their hotel. I'm like, you want to come to a family party with me and all my drunk uncles? You're not going to do so well. Um,
Seriously, there are people that they ask you just so that because they're trying to get in the door, right? So that they don't have to pay the whatever how much it is to go to a luau like anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. So that they can go ahead and tell all their friends that, oh yeah, we did this, we did that. It's just we were used to it a lot of the time. A lot of the Hawaiians are used to it, but I mean, people are different, and the Hawaiians are different. You have people that just kind of sigh and walk and move on, and then we have people that would get really upset. Then we have people that are the complete opposite. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, that was fantastic, but you gotta come to Hawaii. I guess a good protocol is respect everybody. Treat the land like it's sacred, because the Hawaiians believe the land is alive. The rocks is alive as well. In the rocks there is life, and also for those who don't respect it, in the rocks there is also death. That's one of the sayings. That's one of the sayings that I learned by a guy, Dr. Glenn Grant. He came across that reading and he really liked it so much. He published it in some of my favorite books.
Wow.
In the rock there is life, in the rock there is death.
I've heard of Glenn Grant. Yes. Wow. And you really think about it, because everything, when you think about it from a spiritual point of view, everything's vibration. Everything has a spirit, whether you are aware of it or not. It does. And it could be a rock, it could be the sand, it could be the trees, it could be, from the birds to, humans. I mean, everything has its place and order, and if you just respect it, and that's how I feel anyway, is that when people come in, no matter who you are, if you just respect the land, you're going to hear about it. There's some ramifications, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a good time no matter what. It all depends what you want. If you want to come on vacation and have fun and Mai Tais and, that kind of stuff and go to the beach, Waikiki is perfect for that. If you want to come and see some of the more local style and go out onto the North Shore, the West Side, that kind of stuff, just be respectful. Not a lot of people. No, I wouldn't say that. Some people are not as friendly as others.
It just depends. How's the economy? Is it pretty good? What is it? More mainly tourism? What is in the Hawaiian culture? What are the most people do, you think?
Tourism.
Okay.
Well, that's the main economy for Hawaii, is tourism. We used to do sugarcane, pineapple, but that's just too expensive now, yeah? You're going to use all that land to grow sugarcane and pineapple when you could build houses and hotels, right? So, yeah. The economy here is, I guess it's about probably on par with California. A little bit better than New York, just because we don't have that many people. Gas is about the same. Housing is about the same as California, like LA, San Diego area. Like a regular house, I don't know. Let's see, mortgage or rent for a one-bedroom would run you about $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month.
Yeah, it's about pretty comparable to Oregon anymore. Very, very close. It used to be pretty cheap, but yeah, exactly. Wow. So, and the weather's beautiful. I think a lot of people like to just go out there and just escape the rain and the cold. So we go to Hawaii and.
Hey, I take for granted the weather, because I haven't been to the mainland that much. I mean, I do trips now and then, but to actually be caught in the rain in the mainland is a different experience. Over here the rain is cold and you shiver. Over in the mainland, the rain can give you hypothermia.
Oh, really? Wow.
Over here, it's like, even if it's in the middle of winter and it's raining, it's like, oh my God, it's like 68 degrees outside. I'm freezing my okole off, and you are legit suffering. You are for real. And people are like, oh my God, that was horrible. I can't believe you survived that, But you go to the mainland and the rain hits you and it's like, oh, I can't even feel it because my skin is ice now.
So, what's the thing about the pile? What about taking rocks? I think that was a big thing when you go to Hawaii. You don't take anything that doesn't belong to you. That's for the native and sacred to
Oh yeah,
their land.
they had a what's that? The Brady Bunch movie, all of that stuff. Yeah, Madame Pele is the goddess of the volcano. Now she's a mythical being in Hawaii, but she's beyond mythical to the people who live here because everybody has stories or knows somebody who has stories about meeting Madame Pele, about seeing her on the side of the road, picking her up, this old Hawaiian lady or this young, beautiful Hawaiian lady that ends up disappearing or something. You know, she'll smell like sulfur. She'll leave your seat burnt. She'll light the cigarette with the palm of her hand. Um, People see her in the lava flows. I think in the 90s, people would be their houses would like a whole big eruption came, and some houses were just 100% spared. Like the lava came on their property line, right around their fence, and like literally just went around their property. Stopped at the fence and went around. Other ones just burned right through everything. These people had little ho'okupu or little offerings for Pele on the lawn, and so she had spared their house. Whether you believe in it or not, sorry, there is a ton of letters that are sent back with rocks. People think, oh, I go to the volcano, take a piece of Hawaii back with us, even though they're told, no, I don't believe in that, right? And you take the rock back and you start to get bad luck, sometimes almost immediately. When I did the ghost tours, people would tell me that they were getting bad luck. We've been here for a week. All of everything has gone missing. We lost our wallet. We lost this. We got robbed. And they're like, we just had a rough time. And I look at them straight, and I'm like, did you guys visit the Big Island? They're like, oh, yeah, that was the first stop. I'm like, did you guys take a rock from the volcano? And then they all just kind of look at each other, and they're like, oh, yeah. Like, you may want to give it back.
You don't want to do that. Yeah, it's very disrespectful. Leave the things that they belongs there. Even if that makes sense.
You can. It's like I tell my kids. You can admire it with your eyes only. The rocks have a lot of mana. Some of the rocks, I've talked to people who are like, but the rocks are calling to me. The rocks are calling to me. And say, yes, but the rocks are kupuna. They are elders that are hundreds of years old. They call to everybody, not just you. So it's not your job to take them home with you. Let other people enjoy them as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. Wow, that's interesting. It's always been like that, huh, Joe?
Well, that's the interesting part. Is from what I managed to read. I mean, I was only born in 1981, but a lot, so that's how it's been for me for my whole life. But this never started until they started tours up at the volcano, and a tour guide absolutely made up this whole story about taking rocks.
Really?
I don't understand that. He made up this whole story. If you take rocks, it's going to be bad luck. Maybe self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe he just stated what was already known. I'm not sure, but it was never documented. Hawaiians never said that. They never needed to because you don't take things that don't belong to you. And it's always a very reciprocal system. Ancient Hawaii, I would say even up till now, if you want something from somebody, you have to give them something and offer them something of equal value. In old Hawaii, you don't go to your neighbor's house and say, oh, that's a nice hat you got, because then they have to give it to you, and you have to give them whatever they want. That's yours. So you don't just take.
It's very similar to the Chinese and the Japanese culture. I think that's where there's some similarities there. Very much so. Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you do something for somebody, you want to reciprocate and somehow do some energy exchange.
Exactly.
Being able to show your thankfulness and respect for that. Yeah, exactly. Wow. So yeah, it's great. I love being in Hawaii. My husband was stationed in Hawaii for 4.5 years in the Navy, and we went back, and it was like my first time. We went on a cruise, and I loved it. And my husband won't go on a cruise again like that, but I loved it. It was good. But maybe who knows? I'll plan on going back.
Yeah, anytime. It's a fantastic place. I'll take you around. I'll take you on on tours, whatever you want to do.
I know. You and Guy both.
Oh yeah.
Guy says, "Hey, let me know. I'll bring you out." So, but yeah, Hawaii is just I have nothing but good things to say about Hawaii. The people I have personally have done very the readings have been a lot of people need some healing. Whether it's physical healing or emotional and touching the other side, that they want to be able to hopefully, know that they're okay and everything. And it's amazing. I have nothing but good things.
To share one thing about you said about the healing, something that resonated with me, and I think a lot of the listeners would enjoy this as well. I work at the mental hospital, and the people there, most of them are lucid, most of them are good, but sometimes they go off the deep end. One guy who wasn't always lucid told me, he was a Hawaiian guy, younger Hawaiian guy from the west side, and he told me, he's like, Joe, you know what the problem is today? You know why everybody getting sick and everybody's unhealthy? Because everybody wears shoes and slippers. And I'm like, okay, this guy's about to tell me something that's, just completely random and off the charts, right? And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, the Hawaiians, they always had a connection to the land, to the Aina. You walk on the land. All of your bad energy, all of your excess energy, your overflow energy, all of that pilikia, all of that trouble, all of the garbage goes down into the Aina, and the Aina replenishes you. You pull the healing energy up through your feet, and nobody does that anymore. And it's a symbiotic relationship. The Aina, the land, sustains itself and is alive because we give it life as well through our feet. But now nobody does that. So both the people and the land are dying.
Wow, really? I do that, try and do it every day, honestly. That's how I ground myself. I protect myself and I ground myself. I move that energy and open my crown, and I can feel it going all the way down. We call that the governing channel in Chinese medicine. I open up the crown, pull it all the way down, cosmic orbit, all the way down to the end point, all the way down to the feet and into the ground. Ground yourself, pull that energy up, and move that energy all the way up. So I create a bubble, so I'm protected. But like you're right, most people don't know how to do it, let alone it only takes a couple minutes. But it's great. It's wonderful.
Just make sure there's no glass or anything when you do it on the ground. I've done that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go be Hawaiian today. All right. Ow, get rocks. Owie, hot.
Yeah, you don't want to be able to cut yourself on glass or what do you call that? Fish hooks, right?
Oh yeah, fish hooks, fish bones too. That's the worst.
Yeah.
The small little fish bones. Ugh.
Ooh. But thank you, Joe, for letting the listeners know about a little bit of Hawaii. I know you can go on, but I just want to keep it short and be able to give a little bit of taste of what the Hawaiian culture is through your soul and your words and everything else. And I really thank you for being able to spend some time with us and letting our listeners know about it, your culture.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
It's wonderful, and we'll have to have you back. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, mahalo.
I give mahalo too. Hey guys, thank you so much for being able to spend the time, even the half an hour, to listen to us and supporting Portals to Enlightenment, your journey of body, mind, and spirit. And as my mantra says, it's not about being perfect, it's about becoming whole. So I wish you all love and peace. We're coming into the Chinese New Year, February 5th, so I'm excited, and this year is going to bring some really good abundance and a lot of good energy, and I want to thank you and thank you for supporting not only PNBC, but PNBC Network, and supporting me. And so you guys take care, and until next week, take care. Peace.
The portal has closed for this week, but will reopen next Saturday when Psychic Medium Cheri returns with a new guest and another step in the journey of mind, body, and spirit. If you would like to find out more about Cheri or book a reading, you can do it on Facebook. Just look up Psychic Medium Cheri or at tinyurl.com/CheriWeb. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.